Manchester United seem to be in the driving seat
before the deadline.
At the moment, it feels like he's headed to Old Trafford. We know that there were a number of sides that were interested in Bryan Mbeumo. His record since joining Brentford in 2019 has been phenomenal. He's just coming off the back of his best ever season with regards to goals and assists. He's a key part of that Brentford side. But once again, his contract is running down. Hence why Manchester United are seeing this as an opportunity. We know that there is interest from Tottenham as well. We know that there were other sides in the Premier League that were keen on Mbeumo. But it looks like he's heading to Old Trafford. They're just preparing a second offer, which they're hoping will get the player.
Who remains a candidate for Liverpool striker position, a player they appreciate, and I keep repeating to you that they are in contact with the agents of the player. So it's going to be for sure an interesting story to follow in this summer transfer window. Then guys, there is more to say also on Jadon Sancho, because for Jadon Sancho there are also movements taking place. Manchester United have been clear with the player. They will try to sell him in this first part of the summer transfer window. So if they find a permanent transfer proposal, for Man United is the best solution, and also for the player to part ways on a permanent transfer. At the moment, still nothing concrete in terms of advanced negotiations. Interest from Napoli, but Napoli don't want to cover the whole salary of Jadon Sancho, and Napoli don't want to cover the whole salary even in case they sign him on a permanent transfer. So the transfer fee will not be a problem for Napoli, but the salary is too high. So or Man United accept Napoli conditions maybe later in the window, or Jadon Sancho has to accept a different salary to join Napoli. Otherwise, it's going to be a different club. So we're going to see what's going to happen with this case, but the expectation remains for Jadon Sancho to leave Manchester United in this summer transfer window after Chelsea decided not to activate the option to keep the player at the club at the beginning of the summer transfer window. Busy hours also for Chelsea. We mentioned Chelsea for this Jadon Sancho story.
What about Jadon Sancho? A lot of interest in Italy.
Yeah, Jadon Sancho's got interest in Italy. The latest suitor are Juventus, who have made exploratory calls to understand the terms of the deal. I think with Sancho, the tough part is that there were Chelsea, who basically offered him their part of the wage coverage, which was his full Manchester United wage minus about £120,000 a week. And there was no agreement on terms. The wage is going to be a problem. And if Chelsea can't get Sancho to come down to that 150 or so mark, then Italian suitors are going to have a similar problem. And I suspect that Manchester United right now will be saying that all of these potential outgoings, your Rashfords, your Antonys, your Sanchos, your Garnachos, will all be permanent exits with relatively high prices. But as the window goes along, if they can bring in one, particularly Garnacho, and get that pure profit, then maybe there's a little bit of flexibility on structure. And I think if Sancho's to go to Italy, it might have to be a loan with an option or an obligation. And right now, Manchester United are not entertaining that. They're in a strong position, plenty of time of the window to go. But as it ticks along, and if they can bring in that one big fee to allow them to move for a number 9, maybe suitors with Sancho might be able to find a more preferable deal. So we might have to be patient to resolve the future of Jadon Sancho. And it'll be interesting, therefore, if he is part of Manchester United's full pre-season before his future is resolved.
So around Manchester United, there's going to be a lot of definitely maybes then. But what'll happen, Ben, is, you know, when teams are looking from the outside, and you mentioned about the wages, the teams will just wait and wait and wait until coming to the end of the transfer window, because they'll want to take them on loan and do a deal with Manchester United where Manchester United pay some of the wages and the team that take them on loan pay the wages.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. And I think the Antony model is what most clubs look at, or the Rashford loan to Aston Villa, where you get a try before you buy, you get an option to buy, and then you see what you have at the end of the season and if you can afford it. Manchester United don't want to give those kind of deals now. Garnacho's 60 million, Rashford is 40 million, Antony is permanent, not another loan. But I suspect that once they bring in that one big fee, likely Garnacho or Rashford, and Garnacho's the kind of pure profit, then some of these other names, it may be beneficial for Manchester United to get the wage off the books. So I wouldn't discount Antony going back to Betis on loan with another option to buy. But first they want to resolve other futures, because they can't give everyone a loan. Rasmus Højlund is a book loss if it's a permanent exit. So a loan is very likely there if he's to depart. And Italy is a very viable destination. But Manchester United need to know that they can bring someone in first. So I think if you were ranking those outgoings, the Garnacho one is the one they really want to do early, because it's pure profit. They want 60 million. Even if they got 50 odd million, you could push that towards a big name striker, then resolve the rest of these players, some of which might have to go out on loan, because it's a high price for Rashford when you think about the wage. The same can be said for Sancho as well. The only caveat to Sancho is that option to buy at Chelsea was up to a maximum of 25 million. That's not a bad price. So it will be interesting to